Now some people will say that the Holy Spirit is not eternal. They say that the Father is eternal, which of course he is, and some will argue that this Son of God is eternal, which of course he is too. But there's one reference in the book of Hebrews which very clearly shows that the Holy Spirit is eternal. Read with me please, Hebrews 9 verse 14. How much more shall the blood of Christ, same expression from Acts 20, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God. You have the eternal Spirit in Hebrews chapter 9. Now, my Bible tells me there's only one God. Mark 12, Deuteronomy 6. Jesus Christ says, the greatest commandment is to believe in the Lord thy God. There's only one God. John chapter 2, the Jews were arguing with Christ about the temple, if you remember. And I'll share this verse with you as well, because I think all these verses go together quite nicely. And this is another great verse to show to your friends, the Jehovah's Witnesses. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, Jesus, what sign showest thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things? Jesus answered and said unto them, destroy this temple. In 3 days I will raise it up, who raised himself from the dead. In 3 days I will raise it up. Can you see that? Then said the Jews, 46 years was his temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. Can you see this? Verse 21, John chapter 2. But he spake of the temple of his body. So clearly, the temple and the body are synonymous, and he, Jesus Christ, will raise it up. I'll show you two more verses to conclude on the deity of Christ and the triunity of God. In Romans chapter 8, the Apostle Paul speaks about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. We've seen in John 2 that Jesus raised himself from the dead. I'm now going to show that the Spirit of God raised him from the dead. Verse 11, Romans 8 verse 11. But if the Spirit, same word, of him that raised up Jesus from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal body, so on and so forth. Can you see that? But the Spirit of him that raised up Jesus from the dead. So remember John 2, I will raise myself from the dead, and here the Spirit will raise him from the dead. Quite clear, isn't it? And I'll show you one more verse to cement my belief that the Trinity is very much a biblical doctrine, and that Jesus Christ is very much God. Galatians 1 verse 1, this is the last. Galatians 1 verse 1, Paul an apostle, not of men, neither by man, but by Jesus Christ and God the Father, who raised him from the dead. Can you see that? God the Father, who raised him from the dead. Galatians 1 says the Father raised him. Romans 8 says the Spirit raised him. John 2 says that Jesus raised himself from the dead. Quite clearly Jesus Christ is Jehovah, L-O-R-D, Kurios in Greek, El Gabor in Hebrew, and Lord to us in English. As Lord, he is Lord of the Sabbath, he is Lord over everything, and indeed he says he's even Lord of the temple, which for the Jews would have been sacrilege if he hadn't been God, Jehovah, manifest in the flesh. Indeed, Thomas said, my Lord and my God, Jehovah God. And Jesus says, you call me Lord and Master, and so I am. So here you see very clearly, and I believe unmissable, unless you are choosing to ignore this, being willfully ignorant, and we know many people in the Bible are called willfully ignorant, you cannot help but see that Jesus Christ is Jehovah God. He's identified that from Isaiah 40, which the Apostle John, Mark, and indeed even Matthew quotes the same passage in the Gospel of Matthew. You've seen it clearly in the Bible that the Jews considered him to be God, and that's why they killed him. You've seen the triunity of God, 3 in 1, 1 in 3, and the one in the middle died for me, and hopefully he died for you. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video today. These are very important subjects, and next time we'll be talking to you about other subjects. Thank you very much.